made by the Liberia National Police, involving Bong County, industrial daughter who also served as Vice President of the Republic of Liberia. What do you make of the issue that is now in the public space?
I think the government is on the stand of fighting the thing called drugs in this country.
Okay.
Drugs in the country are eating the fabric of the nation. That if a person is been one way or another investigated, or there have been information given to the Liberia National Police that you are somebody maybe as a suspect, you have been invited to the police station. I think the former vice president, go to the police station, clear your side, because this is a country of law.
Other people will say, this is involving the former vice president, and this is now the regime of the Unity Party on the basis of, political witch hunt. There are all other speculation. What have you to say about some of this?
I can see any political interplay in the drug issue. The point against drugs is everybody's business in the country. I don't see any political interplay. Okay. So people say political witch hunt. It's not about politics. 2029 is filed, and Madam Chua is not one of the vocal opposition. She's not one of the vocal opposition. She speaks on issue when there's a need. She's not one of those that just speaking loosely in the public. So for the police to invite her to clear her side, I don't see any political interplay. But people call it political witch hunt because that's the kind of a country we find ourselves. Everything is about politics, but not see politics in this whole.
Is it strange for a former vice president to be charged in this kind of, ongoing national fight against drug? Is it strange?
I was kind of surprised, the former vice president was invited regarding the whole 318 million drug issue. So I was kind of surprised because one way or another, the former vice president is somebody that has been one way or another beat them out from the drug issue. Quote unquote, in fact, the late Philip Tiller, people say you're taking drugs and other things. So to be getting information or to be invited to the police station for drug issue, I'm kind of surprised. But there is a lot to it.
So now there are concerns also over her health issue. There has been some police reports, even media reports surrounding her health. Are you also concerned as a citizen?
Yeah, according to medical report, the former vice president got a pressure, high level of pressure, and she was taken from, I don't know whether it was the police custody or was it kind of maybe the center prison, but then she was been one way or another. She went to a private hospital, another private hospital that she was said maybe identified that she can go for treatment. But I think once she is not okay, she need to go for medical checkup. And when the former vice president is okay, she'll go back to the law. She's a lawyer, and as somebody who understands the law, and somebody who understands how government works. I don't think she's going to play a game, but I think her is paramount in this whole issue.
So now there are concerns also surfacing around, speedy trial. As a citizen, what have you to say about this?
Yeah, there should be speedy trial in the drug issue because there are a lot of allegations, there are a lot of suspects coming on. Don't waste time, don't just keep them in jail. Once they carry them to court and they clear that side, if they are found guilty, the law is there. And they go to jail for the time they're supposed to be in jail.
Others are also talking about, quote unquote, the issue about, some other names earlier surfacing into this drug investigation, like for an example, the police IG being linked and other things. What can you say as a citizen?
We need to trust the process because one good thing about the whole entire investigation, there was a communication from OKFN to the American embassy, and the people considered that yes, the FBI. They are in Liberia investigating the drug issue. And they also talk about the Homeland Security and the DA for America also part of this thing. So they trust the independent investigator from different countries. They trust them. If the police IG is found, maybe one way or another connected to the cartel, they stand aside and be investigated. Nobody is more than Liberia. Nobody is more than Liberia. So I think if the investigator, the independent investigator, I got some level of credibility for the investigator because the involvement of the American in the entire drug issue, I got some level of credibility. So I don't think the criminal to take that. So if the police IG, who is maybe controlling the security sector, If he is part or part of the cartel, I think he stay aside and be prosecuted.
So, is there a final message as we leave you? Because we have to talk to others.
Yeah, so I just want to speak to Kosha Manuel Liberia and take away politics for the fight against drugs. But we want to fight corruption. People say political cohesion. People want to protect people because they come from political party A, political party B. The thing is not about politics, the thing is about Liberia. You know what joy is going to this country. Try to take away the fabric of the nation. So that focus on fighting drugs and corruption in the country. And talk about politics, there is time for politics. For now, I want to talk to everybody. Let's focus on the fight against drugs. Let's lay aside the politics small and see a better Liberia. Let's see a drug-free country. Let's see a kind of a country that's free of corruption. So I just want to speak to the nation on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Your name again?
I'm from Kowe.
Okay. So let's also talk to the next person. We can talk to the next person as well. What's your name, sir?
Yeah, thank you very much. I am Bong County. It's from Bong County.
Okay. Mr. Keita, there is now trending national issue, especially security-oriented, that has to do with the current situation of the former vice president, being arrested, under police custody, being charged and also expected to be forwarded to court. She is from Bong County. Talk to us about your own, feeling about the situation.
Yes, as a son of Bong County, also a former vice president, also of Bong County.
Okay.
Yeah, we love the former vice president, which is daughter of Bong County, and we now stay away from her because the problem that she is daughter of Bong County. But where this situation currently has been led against the former vice president, so the people of Bong County, we were the former vice president. It's not me that we obstruct justice, we go there to obstruct justice, or we go there to stop the government for coming with those evidence I see they get in their hand will not obstruct justice. They left with the former vice president to prove ourselves innocence. Also, they left with the government to provide all those evidences they get in their possessions to prosecute the former vice president.
So now others will say she is from Bong County as former vice president. Being a citizen of Bong County, what have you seen in terms of maybe the lifestyle of this former vice president? Does it appear strange, with the pronouncement of a recent arrest?
Yes. Those the former vice president records not very movable for such a characters for coming up with this type of information. It goes straight to some of us for web to see how the process going to break that because it's legal procedure now. So we cannot come into it too much. We sit and observe how the investigation will be done when it comes to the court procedure.
Are you also concerned about her as a citizen?
Yes, we are concerned about her conditions, and we pray that all the report they say she appears abated, and the parents report from the Liberia National Police that been medical attention because so we pray for her to be in good conditions.
So there are speculations from others, especially political pundits. Others are saying, the arrest of the former vice president might be politically motivated. As a son of Bong County, what have you to say?
No, the mentality we have on the Liberia but to resist on the type of mentalities. Everything we see as political witch hunt. Everything. When you are serving a public space, for example, when you are living, you should be accountable to the public. So if you are serving a public space when you live, based upon the way you serve the people, when the next regime are coming to take over, when they observe that people were important to some corruption, and when they are coming us to hold you guys responsible, we come and say it's a witch hunt. So as a Liberian, we can resist for that type of mentality if we want to grow as a Liberian.
So now, anything finally as we leave you?
Yes, firstly, I mean say thank to the government when it comes to spend in the part of drugs. until the government are making tremendous efforts. So we wait for the court, because the case has been filed with the court. So we follow the court proceeding. We follow every day we follow the court proceeding. So it left with the former vice president, like I said, to prove herself innocent, or the government should come with all the evidence that they get against her to prosecute her. I think the issue in the court of drugs, I think a holistic that you see everybody involved when it comes to the issue of fighting drugs in the country. So every mothers, every Liberian should stand. We should not just live on the government alone. No. We should come around and able to stand for the children that will believe in that yes, they are the next generation of the country. So if we allow drugs to damage, and then definitely the country will be risky. But each and every one of us, I think we have to stand our ground to see how best we can help the government. Every citizen can be involved when it comes to the point of drugs.
Thank you so much, sir. Your name again?
Yeah, my motivator once again.
Okay. Let's also talk to another person. Sir, would like to say welcome. What's your name?
Yeah, thank you. My name is I'm the political leader of the Chocolate One Progressive Youth Development.
Will you be a bit audible, sir?
Like I said, my name is Lucio P. Small, the political leader of the Chocolate One Progressive Youth Development.
You are representing the young people in Bong County. I want to believe you have been following up on this national issue that has to do with the recent arrest of the former vice president of the Republic of Liberia. As a young person, you've been following up. What has been your take on this kind of issue?
Yeah, so let me just make us to retrospect to the sooner from the current president of the Republic of Liberia, President Joseph Yuma Bwaka. He said, he was doing a normal program where he stated that drugs in this country is a national emergency. And we all know that means that the attention of this ruling establishment have been drawn to fighting drugs in this country. So we don't take it for granted. Yeah. So when it comes to the arrest of the former vice president of the Republic of Liberia, I think this is something that should not be astonishing to us, not because of her, but when it relates to a stakeholder within the country. Because for reason the president said that regardless who you are, regardless the influence you have, regardless your ability or what role you play in government, when you are caught within that act, you will be investigated and prosecuted. So it is now astonishing to us to hear big names that will be arrested.
So basically, the question is, as a son of Bong County, you have lived in Bong County, you've grown up in Bong County, you've been in the youth space, providing youth service. One may say, as a young person, what lifestyle of the vice president, of the former vice president, have you known her to be? Is it strange, especially with her arrest?
So let me first just say I'm in solidarity with her in terms of her health condition, and I have that empathy on her when it comes to the health issue, and I wish her speedy recovery, because to my understanding, information reaching to the public that she has been hospitalized. So we say we wish her speedy recovery, and we hope to see her on her feet sooner. But let me say to you that when it comes to the attitude of people, I'm not saying that she's part of it. I'm not saying that she's part of it, because I want for this process to be transparent and holistic. So we are not going to conclude here.
When you say transparent, here, what are you saying?
Good. If the pieces of evidence that have been solicited by the security personnel who are charged with the responsibility to ensure that people who are linked with this drugs issue can be arrested, then if the former vice president is one of those that they get the necessary pieces of evidence to authenticate that yes, he's actually part of this process, automatically let the law take a course. We are not saying that he should be detained, but let the law take a course. But if at all, like people have been speculating around, like it's because of political reason, If it is just because of political reason, then I think she'll be exonerated from this issue, and she will come back to, more especially with the Bonkies, to tell us that she was falsely accused and she was able to exonerate herself from the process. But what we can say to the Liberian people, everything is not just about politics. And to my understanding now, the investigation going on in this country regarding drugs issue is not just the Liberian security personnel. We got other people, more especially from the US, we got security forces from there now that are part of this investigation. So before, I think a stakeholder of such before inviting them, that means they have done their assessment, they have been able to authenticate the information and gathering the pieces of evidence to ensure that yes, indeed, we are not just inviting somebody on the basis of politics, but because we think this person is a person of interest. So if that be the case, we don't have issue with it. Even the president of the Republic of Liberia, if he is indicted in this process, he will also be prosecuted, because he said it. He said it doesn't matter who you are or what position you occupy in this government, but we should ensure that we fight drugs, because we know what drugs doing to our future generation. We know how much, how our brothers and sisters have been like victim of this same situation. So today, for me to tell you, even you can be my mother or my father, when you are caught in this act, you go to the justice system. If you are not actually involved with it, you'll be exonerated. But if you are involved with it, automatically Mr. Kemba will say to the person that let the law take a course.
There are a lot of people, who are being called in for, the recusal of the Police Inspector General Gregory Coleman, especially with the kind of rhetoric that is coming up from ESA activist Martin K. Colley. Are you one of those also calling for said issue?
I would not say to you yes in totality, but people normally say for experience at times people can take on certain decisions. So if Gregory knows that the speculation in the public now is not welcoming for him, more especially when it comes to his integrity, and knowing fully well that he's innocent, I think he might find it necessary to step aside to allow investigation to go on. If he's one of those that is being accused falsely, he'll be set free and he'll resume his post. But if he thinks he doesn't care for stepping aside, he will continue. Yes, he will not level the president to say, Mr. RG, please step aside for investigation like he did to the ITLDA boss, where he told him you gotta step aside because there were allegations around you. So step aside, exonerate yourself, you come back to work. So Gregory issue, I don't want to say that he should step aside, but level him. For experience, if he thinks that there is a need that he step aside to allow the will of the masses to prevail, granted. But if he thinks that people are only saying those things because of political reason, or maybe he's so critical of people who are involved, so he's trying to tarnish him, then maybe that's the reason why he still continues to do his job. But we leave all with the president to see whether Gregory is, if there are pieces of information that are proving that Gregory is involved, that we have been hearing the rumors around, then I think the president will take the same lead and been taking against other government officials.
Do you have other recommendations to the government as we leave?
Yeah. So, I told people that specifically me, as an individual, I supported President Bouaga from 2017. Massively, I'm one of the lead campaigners in this county or in this country. We voted him. We were not successful 2017, 2023. We were fortunate to have won the election. And there are promises made by him. And we know that he's trying his best. But I think when it comes to the judiciary branch of government, there are some leniency in terms of justice world, or they are very slow in handling matters. So, as a president that wanted to fight drugs in this country, I'm urging that if even there is a need to suspend the justice minister, let it be done. We want to see speedy investigation in this country when it comes to drugs, because drugs have been one of the major campaign messages that we got from this current ruling establishment. So taking over now, and he is fighting. This establishment is actually fighting drugs. But if you have people that are involved or in your administration reneging to fight drugs, I think there's a need that the president use that executive influence to ensure that the messages that he gave to the Liberian people, more especially when it comes to one of the branches of government, or even from his angle as the executive, he should ensure that the right thing be done. So if we got people there reneging with the issue, you know, it surprised me the other time when I tried following information when I heard that the president, after he gave 48 hours ultimatum, that there should be an investigation done and report be given to him. Later we understood that we had people there that were considered as one way of the other involved with administrative malpractice or whatsoever thing they might refer to it, but they were not linked. So if you got administrative proceeding that regarding to certain situation that is very major to you as a president, I'm calling on the president that it is not for politics. God of politics is those who he wanted to use to fight this identical national emergency that he referred to are not doing the needful. Then you take the lead in and allow them to step aside to bring people who will be willing to fetch this country forward, because we know how many of our brothers and sisters that have been victims of this same drug case in this country.
Thank you so much, sir. Your name again?
My name is Licio Pisco.
Okay. Well, you've been listening to him. His name is Licio Smo. Let's also talk to this, son of the county as well. What's your name, sir?
Well, I'm Odell Russell Jr. and a resident of the Shikoy community.
Okay. So you are a part of this, intellectual center's activities, and more besides being a prominent son of Bong County. I want to believe you've been following up on this issue that has to do with the recent arrest, of the former vice president. What have you to say about the national issues right now?
Well, let me say the police are doing the job that the citizens are expecting, and it is a great thing that some perpetrators, some alleged perpetrators who have been found in the act of these drugs be brought to court, and which of course our mothers who were taken to the street in the form of protest few days ago, that we saw many of them threatening to strip themselves naked if nothing be done about this issue about the drugs that have been killing the youth, and many of the youth that have been affected. I think it's a good thing, and if a former vice president is involved, let the law take its course by punishing her to the extent that they will serve as a caveat to other perpetrators who want to bring in those substances to harm us as the future generation of this country.
What have you known about this former vice president who served, under the former CDC's administration, especially being headed by former President George Manawia? What have you heard, especially with her arrest? How do you see her arrest?
Well, I see the arrest as a major step taken as the issue of tackling the drugs being fought and being identified. So my own observation about the vice president former is she's a humanitarian, and she built a lot of people's minds. I mean, she even brought some development to this county. But let us not look at it as witch hunt or the issue about going against someone because they are not from this other side. But let's look at it about Liberia at large. Liberia being on a path with other countries. I can take you back to America 2020. We follow the issue about the politics in America on our phones and social media and other things. President Donald Trump at the time, who served as the president, he was also called to court and leveled so many counts against him for the issue about the election 2020 in America. And which of course we saw the American and the judiciary system in our country taking preeminence over that case. And it was said that President Trump at the time, he was vindicated. All of those counts were leveled against it. They were all denied. Some of them, all of them, they were cancelled. So if our vice president But then, Madam Joel Howard Taylor can go through same. I think the justice system and the judicial system in our country will be doing the Liberian people just, not by hiding those high-level government officials' names, because I think you recall that those were some reasons our mothers took the street, demanding that those people who are in line with those judges, the issue about the judge being brought to court. So the government is taking a great step, and let's see how it happens. If she has been carried to court for trial, and if she is guilty, the law will take its course, and if she is not guilty, I think it will be a good sign for us as a Bongi and for her also.
Do you have any doubt on the justice system as the ongoing, trial is about to begin? Do you have any doubt over the Liberian justice system?
Yes, I have some level of doubt, and I believe that when it is that Liberian takes or preside over this case, the justice system will be tampered with.
If Liberian
take over this case, the justice system seriously will be tampered with.
Why are you making such a strong statement? What have you seen?
I'm making this strong statement because we have seen over the past times, even the issue about Samuel 12, the juror they were tampered with. Some of them, those people who served as juror on that particular case, said that there was nothing that they saw in the issue about Samuel 12. So nothing. And how can you convict others who are in line with their boss, and then you say the boy is not guilty? I think we sense certain level of, if the case was tampered with, and I make this strong statement because we are seeing so many cases in our country being handled by our own judicial system being tampered with. So this case, I send this as a wake-up call to us as Liberians. Let us turn on the back of our government to make sure they bring in some experts from abroad to make sure this case is being handled by them. If our vice president by then is not guilty, let us know, and then if she is guilty, let us know, because I don't trust the justice system.
There are a lot of calls, following the arrest of this former vice president who is now in transit, to be forwarded to the Supreme Court of Liberia. There are some other calls that, despite the ongoing efforts, citizens are also calling on the police inspector general to relinquish his post, to step off his post, because he's also being linked into this cartel process. What can you say as a young person who is also in this country?
Yeah, it's a fine thing. For that issue, if the police RG is linked with the issue of the George case, and it deals with evidence, if those individuals who are claiming that the RG has connection with this issue of a judge, let them provide that evidence, and then let the RG in his own wisdom, securing peace and stability in his country, step aside and then go through the legal process of being tried in a court of competent jurisdiction, so that us as Liberians we get to understand that our justice system is in our interest and not in the interest of those people who are in certain level of government. So those people who are identified setting forth in the police RG linking to the judge issue, let them provide the facts, provide evidence, because even the police RG himself made a statement concerning Madam Joel. He said, and I quote, that there was so many evidence against Madam Joel that she had linked to the issue of the judge. So if those people can bring their own evidence on the docket and then establish that fact, I think it's a good sign that we Liberians will take a step forward in handling the issue of a judge in this country.
Is there a final message as we leave?
Yes, my final message to the Liberian people is we shouldn't panic. Let us give chance to the police to do their job. We shouldn't take them as a fight against our party or your party. No, it's not an issue of a party. It's the issue about the sanity of this country. The sanity comes first, because the more those people bring in substances that will hurt us as youth, the more the country becomes vulnerable and dangerous on a daily basis. So let us be calm as we observe this process in a peaceful, in a respected manner.
Thank you so much, sir. Your name again?
I'm Obadiah Russell, and it's a pleasure having me on your platform this evening.
It's a pleasure, sir.
Thank you.
Well, you've been listening to intellectuals, some citizens of Bong County, talking more about the ongoing trial, especially with the arrest that was done, involving the former vice president. So we thought it wise to see how best we come to the intellectual center here. Some citizens are also saying they will remain tight-lipped, on the issue. They are not yet ready to speak on some of these different issues, and we can be able to see how best. Okay. So other citizens are saying they remain, silent until the investigation can be concluded, but other people are also saying they want to have their say. So this is Bong Electric and Social Intellectual Center. We have been in conversation with some of the citizens of Bong County. So at this point, we will wind down on this particular interview. If necessary, tomorrow we will still commence, such exercise again to see how best we also listen to other citizens. But this is basically from the Bong Electric and Social Intellectual Centers, and you listen to some of the intellectuals, on the issue here. My name is Jacob. I'd like to say thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for following this live right here from Central Liberia.